Goal. From Madison Square Garden, representing the Big East, the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers, and out of the Big 12, the Cyclones of Iowa State University. Rod Franklin, along with young Jimmy Dykes, the governor, Bill Raftery, talk about Iowa State and the fact they've got a couple of huge wins at Hilton Coliseum at home, but on the road, they have not prospered as their coaching staff would have liked.
You know what, though? Both teams start three guards. I think Rutgers gets 21 points a game from the three ball. Iowa State only gets 12. So Iowa State has a little bit more attack the rim mentality from their perimeter, especially a young man by the name of Curtis Stinson, one of the best freshmen probably that most people have never seen play this year. Terrific guy from the perimeter, a hard guard, a dominant crossover dribble, can really get to the lane and attack you. Playing with a banged up left hand tonight, but I talked to him before the ball game. He said, "It won't stop me from scoring."
So let's take a timeout. For the Cyclones of Iowa State, Vroman and Jake Sullivan, along with Jared Holman, Curtis Stinson, and number 11, Will Blaylock at the guard positions.
I'll tell you what I like about Jackson Vroman from Iowa State. He's a punishing rebounder, Raph. He goes to get the rebound out of his area. He's got great speed for a kid 6'10", and he's young as a basketball player, only his 5th year to play.
With a large contingent on hand here to cheer for the Scarlet Knights. Semifinal game number 1 is under.
Rutgers aggressive in the half court, man-to-man. Terrific on-ball defensive club with their length.
Quickly inside to Vroman. He'll get the easy two. Vroman with his 4th point.
Terrific push, huh? Blaylock. Wow.
Great confidence, too.
He shoots it any further out, he's got to pay tolls on the way.
Well, I think they're downtown, but maybe out of bounds, too.
Inside to Holman. Jared puts it on the floor, the right-handed hook, and he's got it going, as does Iowa State. Cyclones of Iowa State, first season at Iowa State. Was an assistant coach there. Also was an assistant at Syracuse. Very familiar with this part of the country because he grew up here, Bill.
Yeah, he and Stinson back home. They've got a lot of requests for tickets from friends and family.
Skill set for a 6'10" youngster.
Absolutely right. He can put on a nice step through to the left. Huh?
Wow.
A little lingerie on the deck.
Can really get up and down this floor.
11-2 is the run total right now. Vroman, he's going to take it up strong and he'll score.
He really knows how to play post offense. He puts it on the floor. And Jimmy, you've seen him enough, and Ron, he's a fadeaway jumper like Will Chamberlain used to. Maybe we'll get a look at it.
Holman with the turnaround. Trouble. They got to have input from the perimeter by Jake Sullivan.
And Gary was telling both of us he was given the MVP award, most improved.
Yeah, it's
Adrian Hill, that is.
You like kids looking at Jared Holman on that free throw stripe when their coach describes them and says his greatest skill, he plays hard. That's the only reason why this young man's on the floor at that free throw stripe right now. He will out-effort you if you give him the chance.
Way with the loose ball.
Well, he's quicker than you think. Whew.
Holman squared to the hoop, and he'll knock that down off of him. Top. Here are 2 of the Iowa State points and 2 of Vroman's 8.
I like Rutgers' length defensively.
Doobie's got some, and I think you're thinking of him a lot, and Lim as well.
For his career, he's got 234.
Iowa State, they like to run sets, and so far most of their set looks have been to that low block.
And why not? I think they've got to pound conversely.
Zone defense that lacks man-to-man principle.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know, you really don't get in a real stance, I think, when you're in a zone matchup. You're sort of between the guy and the basket, but you don't move the legs to contain.
Peterson.
There's that trap we mentioned earlier. Causes the turnover.
Stinson gets it off to Blaylock, and he'll win the foot race and jam it home.
It's not Mookie, but it looks good.
Young fella had 11 assists and no turnovers against Kansas this year.
How about that? I mean, how good were they at home when you think of it?
Big one over Kansas, big one over Texas.
Yeah. Just the road, they got a rash.
Shields, nope, and going to be grabbed down by George.
And George's trying to get some more minutes. They're real high on him. Big upside.
Bill, it kind of brought him along slowly, didn't it? Look at Stinson. He put it up with the hand. It's got the cast on it.
And you mentioned George. He occupied a few people, Ron, and you're right. He's learning how to play on the run, but right here, you avoid the traffic, and you can see the guts of this guy, huh? He gets slapped on that hand. He claims it's a major issue, pain, his threshold. Take it to the 10. A little smooch, Jimmy Dykes, in Manhattan.
With that dominant crossover is what set the whole thing up. That might be his reference point as an offensive player. And everybody has to have one. That crossover might be where it all starts with his game.
I think he's as good as Jamal Tinsley was as a senior.
Very good,
right
good
now.
comparison, yes.
7-0 run. Gary Waters has seen enough, and he calls a timeout. 2-point ball game.
Next year, that's the talent that they have on the floor. And listen to this.
On the scene, right?
That's bigger than Spud Webb.
Well, that tells me one thing, then. If she won the slam dunk, she must have dunked more than one.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we got a shot of Stinson here. As Jimmy.
In terms of being a male Division I college basketball coach, there are probably have been a few more opportunities than in some of the other areas, whether it be management or baseball or whatever.
Well, the NIT has always
been better. I think they've improved at getting to the 10. It's very important when you shoot the ball as well as they do.
Holman, they let him go. 4 on 3 in the break, but a good job by Rutgers, and they broke down. And they left Holman free for his 9th point.
And you know what I like, Ron? He didn't dunk it. They sliced.
And here's the fast break just a moment ago. Roman inside and put away by Holman.
The last one, if they get it under 10, that's a heck of a half.
Yeah.
Dodged a great shooting by Rutgers.
Stinson, they get it inside, and Roman puts it up with the left hand, and he was fouled.
That was
touched on the rim.
It's straight up in the cylinder, as we know, Ron. Straight up to the ceiling, and to release it.
Well, we talked about Jackson. His dad started off at UCLA, then transferred to UNLV. So he played for the Wizard of Westwood, and then he played for Tart. So the bloodlines are good. His dad, an excellent ball player. And that'll do it as far as the first half is concerned.
Several defenses this first 20 minutes. Which one worked the best, and which one will we see more of in the second 20 minutes?
Our defense just needs to have a lot better effort. It's not even which defense we played. There are principles of the defense that we're just not adhering to, and we got to correct. Okay?
You want to keep that inside attack established?
Yeah, we need to get the ball inside. They're having trouble handling us there.
Okay, Coach. Thanks for your time.
Stinson coming back home tonight. You wonder if he might not be trying a little too hard. Averaging almost 16 points a game, only 3 tonight. Averages almost 15, no points tonight. 0 for 3, and actually he only had 1 good look. The other 2 were almost forces.
And that's 31 points they averaged between them. They got to get perky.
Got such great anticipation though as a leaper. That's the reason he blocked so many shots. Sullivan on the runner at the 18:29 mark. Rutgers, and Stinson comes right back, drives it in the middle, gets the easy hook.
Zone in the middle. Or dribble drive, one of the 2.
Got a little fancy with the pass. They turn it over. Here's Blaylock. Bounces off to Holman. What a nice play. And all of a sudden it's a 6-0 run.
He took away the defense too. Turned it back. A little more hop in their step right now.
So we'll take a break. 17:28 left. Here's a look at that fast break. Blaylock off to Holman.
State starting to cut in the lead just a little bit. I love the effort by Jackson Vroman, number 4 in white. Watch him where he starts and where he's going to finish. A kid that's 6'10", has terrific speed. He can run and he will run. And again, he's ambidextrous around that rim, can jump left-footed, right-footed, finish right hand, left hand. He's a hard match.
He can swim too.
He can swim too, and play soccer.
They say he's amphibious.
You know, Wayne Morgan said it to shoot around today as he took time to visit with us. He says he's the hardest working big man that I've ever been around. As you look at the Star Watch comparison, Roman 13 points, 6 of 7 for the field. Lamazana in foul trouble.
I think mostly international players.
I believe Hakeem played soccer
he did.
these days.
Holman got a piece of that one right there, and it's on the floor, and Holman with the hustle gets it off to Blaylock. 3-on-1. Stinson.
An old-fashioned bounce pass, Jimmy Dykes.
By the bigs of Iowa State. Look at him double up that basketball. Big fella gets on the floor to save it, and out to rip and run to the other end for Iowa State. And their aggressive level has taken to another level in the second 20 minutes.
Wayne did not seem happy with you, or maybe it wasn't you. Maybe it was his team's play.
He wasn't happy with anyone within earshot when he left the floor at halftime.
I mentioned it, locker room down.
And Stinson taking it right to him, and the find with Holman diving to the 10. Heck of a play with the dribble drive by Stinson. That's where I think he's tough. He can get it up and top enough. Oh my goodness, what a great Holman.
Oh my goodness.
And Stinson just was working his magic, looking for himself. And you get a bailout when you hustle like that. Guy and keep his arms down. He'll never got him up.
Sullivan on the run, and he gets that one.
You know what he does awfully well? When he sells the pump fake, his eyes go to the rim. A lot of guys don't do it. They'll pump fake, and they're looking right at you. He sells it completely.
And he is not afraid to get in and get hit, too, with the bounce.
Of the 4 teams at the NIT, this is the worst shooting of the team, 65%.
Not in your best interest come stretch time.
Stinson gets them both.
Right there's the number 7 career NCAA free throw shooter in history. He's going to have some grit, some toughness, some effort about him, right?
That's the reason. You talk to John Neal, sometimes he refers to you as Pilgrim. We'll take a break. The 2-point lead, Iowa State. We got an excellent time to come out of his frozen state.
Now that'll get you healthy. And once again, the penetration and the find. Stinson and going left, Ron, you mentioned earlier, he had a little trouble with the bounce left.
Because their bigs were running and they were keeping him involved in the half court. The last 2 or 3 minutes, Iowa State guards have gone a little crazy on him.
Well, you know, it's funny that balance that you have to have as a good team. And it's really directed by the guards and, in essence, the point guy. And Blaylock would be the guy this time. Because Wayne first messed him up at Syracuse. He said, I'm ready. I'm ready to be a head coach. And he's very patient. Got that opportunity. Unfortunately, the sadness of Larry Eustace, who I'm delighted to see, is getting his opportunity again. And there's Blaylock, the point guy, trying to contain the bounce here.
Ron, keep an eye on those Iowa State turnovers. They average 17 turnovers in their losses, only 13 in their wins.
They're nearing 17 right now. Jump. Exciting. That's going to be a jump ball. Possession says Iowa State.
Turnaround jumper, good with the bounce. They got a perfect trap here.
And they get the steal, Stinson, and that's going to be basket interference.
6'10", putting on that full court pressure right there. Just to read and react defensively, and then Stinson attacks the rim.
20 minutes after this one is over, it will be Michigan taking on Oregon.
You know, Jimmy, what I haven't seen today, he said he left it back in Ames.
You know, one thing, Jake, we talk about his leadership ability and everything that he contributes to this ball club. He also is a 3.43 great point average in the classroom
for the kind words.
Toledo, Ohio, yeah, in their conference tournament. Holman backs it in, misses. Roman misses on the tip, and I think he was held.
Now, I've been very impressed with this kid's all-around game.
Oh, I think he knows how to play. There's no question about it. He keys the defense here with the pressure. Got a turnover earlier. I think offensively he keys things with his ability to get himself free and makes great decisions.
Consider he didn't start until his senior year in high school. He's come a long way.
There's a case in point. He stepped in, plus the miss.
Stinson.
Look at this rebound.
Holman has it rejected.
What hustle. Doesn't matter. What a great job, though. They got a technical on Holman, I think.
Yeah. Firing that ball behind his back to the corner.
I don't know how malicious this was, Jimmy, only because he's mad at himself. He didn't get what he wanted.
Right.
And I just love the effort here.
Yeah, he's not arguing the call.
No. I mean, it's just he's...
Plus the fact he got fouled.
But this, again, you've got to love the passion and the effort this kid plays with.
Well, that's an unfortunate call. So Holman now has 3 fouls.
Be sure you go.
Give me back. Give me the string on that. So the two bigs now have the 3 fouls, Roman and Holman. And Wayne is giving him a few words there. Great control in the sideline, don't you think?
Now will show you one more time. This is what happened to Holman. I'm sorry. And particularly at this juncture of the ball game, that's not a technical foul.
It wasn't at the official. It was at the manager to bring the water over in time.
Stinson pulls up on the jumper, and he cans it.
You know, we have not seen his teardrop shot. That was close. He gets in that lane and flicks.
Marquise Webb into the lineup. See the step out by Lozano. It is blocked. And a three-pointer from Blaylock.
To the line frequently. That really helps that. There's that high-low. What a nice little set that is, Jim.
Holding on the turnaround. Wow.
Stay with it, I think.
I think he's better when he reverses the turn instead of going to his right.
Yeah, like a lot of guys in the country, but position and understanding.
Yeah, they get a ton of rebounds below the rim, don't they, because of that position.
The same play, and they're going with it. And you know what? That was almost. Stinson likes to throw that arm off. That's the second time. He's got to be careful. And Jimmy, here's that little inside to run this little curl. And that's the read. High side left, drop step, and the big guy vacates nicely for Roman. He could have jammed it up with his guy.
Perfect job of drifting off the guy with the basketball and sealing up the weak side in case the miss was there. I just think they've been on the same page all evening long, Roman and Holman inside.
Well, Roman's got 14 rebounds, Holman with 4. And in scoring, 21 points now for Stinson. Roman has 14 points and 15 for Holman.
You mentioned maybe he was a little nervous at home. You ride the subway in this city, you don't stay nervous long. Or you lose the groceries.
You count the stops when you sleep even. 64, Iowa State. Plus the fact Holman has the 3 fouls.
Yeah.
So couldn't go out maybe and stick to him quite as aggressively as he wanted to. Stinson strong to the hook and scoring, and a chance for a 3-point play.
A little blow by, and then the soft smooch at the end.
You know what? The ball screens tonight have been set for Stinson so he can drive with his right. They haven't set him up on a ball screen to go left because of that bandaged hand.
How about those soft rims at the Garden? And that's number 4. Irving gets tagged for that one.
Still can't get over the fact that a kid that grew up playing at Rutgers Park in the Bronx, his nickname is Blue Collar. I mean, that looks a whole lot more like a Ray Ray or a Sleepy to me.
Or Showtime.
It's Showtime.
Or Center Stage. And right now, looking for threes all the way now. This is where you get in trouble.
Stinson swishes it.
You just fouled the wrong guy. I'm going to step up and make you pay.
You got to have that attitude.
Have to.
Well, the coach blesses himself.
Misses it, so it's still a one-trip ball game. 75-72.
Go to the rim quick. He got fouled. Good play. Good play. You got 21 seconds, 20 and change.
Stinson, 11 of 12 at the free throw line tonight. Converts the first one. Gets the second. One.
Play. Contain. You want the dribble at least to go one different path. And I would say you got to guard for the 3 now.
Yep. Keep an eye on 0 in white because he's the one that can burn you.
And this guy can too.
Wow. 0 in white. You better tag him.
Oh, they got a foul or a timeout? They got the last timeout.
Yeah, the final timeout.
And not let them shoot the 3 in that particular play. I mean, I'm not a fan of it, but I thought that was one of the possibilities when you mentioned Stinson had the dribble.
You know, we talked about Jake Sullivan can go 38 minutes without a 3.
Unabashed,
Doesn't
right?
bother him.
No. I mean, the gutsy performance on the corner. Well, you know what this deserves, Jimmy Dykes? The little guy raising the level. Nuggets! Deep in the corner.
Possibly oranges.
Anything you want at the grocery store for this. And Stinson with the look to give him the opportunity as well. Now 1.3, it's a catch and one bounce.
Yeah, at most.
Right?
Yes.
So and the ability of the cutters is extremely important. What angle they go at, what lane they create for the inbound passer. I would think a big will be on the ball, Jim. Don't let him have vision. And see how the other people deploy. A back screen sometimes by a guard. You run somebody to the rim, you consider the lob, and then if not, the screener pops to the ball. That's one of the things you might be able to do.
And when you're not familiar, which Iowa State and Rutgers are not blown.
Now, I think you've got to force the ball backwards defensive.
And he will take up vision of the passer. Big, get up, big fella.
And here it comes.
Ramazan is a threat.
He walked. He walked down the counter.
Putting 54 in wide in the ball game. Got him a turnover.
They're going to leave him in now, maybe for the possibility of getting to the rim or screening the big body.
No clock movement, so that's to be the key substitute for Sullivan.
Stinson's going to try and shake his guy somehow. And they're not as big on the ball. Jefferson's going to get some vision.
Get it up, get it up.
Oh, he hit the front of the iron. So we're heading to overtime, and let's look at the shot that tied it up by the senior, Jake Sullivan.
Well, he runs the baseline great. He knows how to get himself free. And I think Stinson with the response, Jimmy, just terrific here. But the little guy's stepping up in magnificent fashion.
You can chase him for 39. You better chase him for 40.
Send it in there.
For Rutgers and for Iowa State, it is Vroman with 4. Jared Holman has 3.
I wonder during the break between regulation and OT if Iowa State was looking around for their
knock on wood,
Knock on wood here in front of me.
Right now, if they're going to prevail, I think they've got to start recognizing 51, Holman, and number 4, Vroman.
Larry Rose.
Love this. Are you kidding me?
Tough shot.
And look who's there with the perfect checkout. Never left his feet. Vroman. Look who's there.
Axani had it blocked.
He does a great job. He's a hard worker. Couldn't finish.
Roman with the block, and Curtis Stinson taking a chance with his 4 fouls.
Well, you know, that Holman occupied Lamazana as well, too.
5 on Stinson.
He has blown by people 90, 94 feet all evening long. Again, that's a lack of transition.
One as well. And that's it. I'm not mistaken. Yep, Stinson with 5.
Career high, 32 points for him. Only had 3 at halftime. 29 in the second half with a total of 32.
Blaylock's going to have to play solid. And, you know, in a way, I'm not saying it's a blessing because you want your best performer. Now they might think that the building blocks a little more, you know?
I agree.
Iowa State. Again, the bumps for Sullivan. A pretty good reaction defensively.
There's where you want it if you're an Iowa State fan right now.
Nice step through. Didn't come up with a good shot, but heck of an offensive maneuver.
Sullivan, the runner, not there.
Speaking now, very clever. Jimmy mentioned it earlier. He has a nice understanding of how to get people airborne and then do something creative.
I mean, he really sells that pump fake. When you buy in defensively that he's going to knock that shot down with the ball movement, the head movement, and I like how his eyes lock in on the rim when he's trying to sell that ball fake. He understands it.
He begged that one home. Here's that ability. Just your eyes rise, and then Axani gets caught on the tough side, even if you're that size.
Jake Sullivan in December, his high school, retired his jersey out of Oakdale, Minnesota, Tartan High School. That they held on to it. Wow. And Holman.
They are letting them play on right now. That was Lamazani did a great job, I think, didn't you?
Yeah.
Established terrific position away from.
And the governor, Bill Raftery, coming to you from Madison Square Garden. Our first semifinal game. And Vroman is down. Is that a cramp?
I think so.
He pointed to his calf like it's a cramp.
He's been out there an awfully long time and providing energy on both ends of the floor. 18 minutes in the first half. I don't remember him going out this half, do you?
No, he's been out there for the duration, I believe. Dribbling this shot now.
Under 5 seconds. Tried to draw the foul, couldn't get it, rebounded.